With the Boston Bruins only games away from the playoffs, they're going to be looking for that real X factor that's going to make this team even better in the playoffs, and they have just the man to do that. Jim Montgomery's also spoken about Pat Maroon's Boston Bruins debut tonight. He's put him on some pretty questionable lines, and many people are wondering why this is the case. As well as one final topic here, the recent Athletic article revealed an insane stat that is shocking to a lot of people about a few Boston Bruins players this season, really making people wonder if this is the future for the Bruins. So make sure to stick around to see all of that. Before we get into all of it though, we noticed that 88% of you guys watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. If you're looking for a spot to get all of your Boston Bruins news, you're in the right spot. Make sure to hit the sub button. Join me along here as we cover this team heading into the playoffs, and a very, very exciting one that's going to be. But like I said, let's get straight into the first topic here, not wasting any time. And the biggest Boston Bruins playoff X factor needs to start a spark once again, as he has done many, many years in the past. And I'm sure many people are wondering who that is. With a very young team and not too much playoff experience, this article has revealed the real X factor that the Bruins are going to need to get up this playoffs. And this is what the article says. However, with his point totals disappearing, his game defensively has picked up. It has been a strong suit for DeBrusk this season, and he has emerged as a two-way threat for the Bruins. But it's this sense the Bruins are going to need that extra layer of scoring, and he's the guy to look for. When it comes to the playoffs, DeBrusk has shown up, and has even been a playoff hero for the Bruins in 73 career playoff games. Jake DeBrusk has 22 goals and 36 points. The big stage isn't an issue for him. It's just a matter of getting going and building up steam. And this is exactly the case of what we're looking for in Jake DeBrusk. I'll pull up his stats here, as you can see there on the right side, 36 in 73 games is an absolutely fantastic point-to-game ratio, especially for the playoffs where you're playing all of the top teams across the NHL for that season. And Jake DeBrusk really is the guy to do it. And you've seen his point totals have slowed down this season compared to last year, but like the article said, he's developed a good two-way defensive game, and if he can get that offensive game back for these playoffs, Jake DeBrusk could be a real threat to many teams this team will play in the playoffs, especially what's seeming to be the Tampa Bay Lightning in the first round, when they're going to need to be firing on all cylinders. That's no question. That this team is going to be a very tough competition for the Bruins. Jake DeBrusk is going to have to be that guy that he's been in the past for the Bruins, that guy who's been able to score, has no pressure in the situation in a playoff game and whatnot. And, not just Jake DeBrusk. This whole team is going to have to do that, but Jake DeBrusk is going to be a major X factor if he can be able to pull this off, if he's going to be able to pull this off here in these upcoming playoffs. So that's going to be a real telltale sign of these last few games. If he can step it up, if we see him start to improve, if we see him start to get a bit more ice time from Jim Montgomery to try and get the feet back under him and get going before the playoffs do begin. But speaking of Jim Montgomery, he's made a pretty interesting move with Pat Maroon, as Pat Maroon is set to make his Boston Bruins debut tonight. A very long time coming. Seems like we've been talking about it for about a month or 2 months since he's been traded, that Pat Maroon, when's he going to be back? What kind of role is he going to take on this team? What's he going to be doing to fill in for this team and help this team in the playoffs? And this is what Jim Montgomery had to say here in a post-practice press conference, I believe. That's what I want to say it was. He says, quite a bit is what he's looking for. What he's going to bring to the locker room, what he's going to bring to the bench, what he's going to be bringing on the ice, and what he's going to be bringing on the power play. And now that is one thing that really made people wonder why Pat Maroon, coming into his Bruins debut with only 3 games left in the season, wondering why he's going to be on the power play. But it do make sense when you look at the style and the build and the hockey play style of Pat Maroon, I guess you could say. A big guy, he's really nice around the net, very good. Not many people like to be in front of the net, but Pat Maroon is one guy that you could easily put there. He could easily get in the goalie's way, get in the defense's head, and just work a power play pretty well. Now, he's not going to be a puck carrier. He's not going to be a power play quarterback, but him on a power play could definitely be a good fit, especially for this Bruins team, where JVR is a bit of a question mark for these playoffs and a bit uncertain about what is going to be coming from him for these next few games in the regular season and then going into the playoffs. Pat Maroon may take over his spot. Will they need a replacement on the power play for JVR? And Pat Maroon could be that guy. So it's really going to be, like Jim Montgomery said, just seeing what he can do in these final few games. Hopefully he can play all of them, and going into the playoffs is going to be a real telltale sign of what Pat Maroon's role will be. So I expect him to do a lot of different stuff in these 3 final games here for the Bruins, seeing what work, seeing what don't work, and then analyzing from there what they want to do with him in the playoffs. But like I said, it's going to be what happens to JVR, what happens to Lauko, depending on where Pat Maroon is going to slot in this lineup. So it's going to be something to watch tonight in the game, Pat Maroon's debut. What really Jim Montgomery is going to try and do with him. It's going to be a handful of things. Some things Pat Maroon might not be too comfortable with, but he's been around the league. He's won many Stanley Cups, and I think he gets the understanding of what his role is on this team. And it's going to be very exciting to see what he can do to help this team in these final few games heading towards the playoffs. But one final topic here in this video is a shocking stat, if I'm going to be honest with you. We knew these guys were good. We knew these guys had big shoes to fill. But a recent Athletic article revealed that Charlie Coyle and Pavel Zacha are really exceeding their expectations from many people this season. We know they have about 50 points each. I'm not sure the exact total for one or the other, but 114 combined points for Charlie Coyle and Pavel Zacha. The biggest question regarding the 23-24 Bruins was how they would respond to the retirements of Patrice Bergeron and David Krejci. It wasn't because of how well the franchise staples had played a season ago. It was because Coyle and Zacha hadn't previously been in the top two centers in their careers. But the three regular season games left, there you go. Charlie Coyle, 58 points. Pavel Zacha, 56. Didn't have to go too far in my bag for that, but have matched Bergeron's 58 and 56 from last season. This is from Fluto Shinzawa of The Athletic in an Athletic article revealing the top surprises pretty much from each team heading into the playoffs. But as you can see there, matching the totals from Krejci and Bergeron last year. I'm not going to say Zacha and Coyle are Patrice Bergeron and David Krejci. They were on the older sides of their career. The defense was the main part from Patrice Bergeron. We know that, but I really have to say, Charlie Coyle, Pavel Zacha has exceeded my expectations by a lot. You know, I was really uncertain. I wasn't too confident going into this season about what they could do. I knew that they were two very good players, two very good centers, but the question marks were surrounding me of if they were actually a number one center. And I say this year, they've proven that they certainly could be, whether it be a tandem, whether it be a 1A and a 1B, or whether it be, I would say, a 2A, 2B, but playing on the first line. You know, we've seen an article earlier this season ranking them as the lowest top centers in the league, lowest number one center for Charlie Coyle, but I really think that that's fine. You know, that ranking don't really matter too much. He does the role that he needs to. He fills it well, and he fills it perfectly, especially for what they're going to be doing over this offseason, going into the future. This was kind of an uncertainty year for the Bruins anyways, but I have to say, this is absolutely fantastic to see the recognition that these two are getting from this season. Charlie Coyle, Pavel Zacha have really played fantastic, and I really hope this can continue into the playoffs. And for, you know, down the line, these two are under contract for a few more years. Got some big shoes to fill, and they're going to be taking a leadership role on this team a lot sooner than people may think. So I'm excited to see what they can bring here for the playoffs. Happy the recognition is there for those two, as well as this whole team really performing the way they have this season. A bit of ups and downs, a few bumps in the road, but I gotta say, this team has really shown what they're made of, especially with the loss of Patrice Bergeron and David Krejci, and it really was an uncertainty year, but they've shown they've been able to do it. The regular season's coming to an end soon, and hopefully we can get another goalie hug here tonight with another win, and that would be just a great way to send it into the playoffs in these final few games. Really just a try out, see what works, and hopefully we have a great result here tonight. But that's all I got here for this video. If you did enjoy, make sure to give the video a like. Hit the sub button as well if you did enjoy and you want to see more Bruins content. We have stuff lined up down the barrel and ready to come for you. A lot of stuff for the playoffs, a lot of exciting things coming, so make sure to hit the sub button if you don't want to miss any of that. But like I said, that's all I got. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.